Hey guys, we are currently in the process of recording episode 20 of the cut content of Counter-Strike, and while we are doing that, here's the second Errata video to some of our previous videos. There have been some interesting new findings regarding deVostok, the Unscoped SG552, and the Tactical Shield. This time, news about the Tactical Shield in CSGO. In the very first episode of the cut content of Counter-Strike, back when I only had my headset mic, we talked about deVostok, a map originally designed for Counter-Strike Condition Zero when it was still in development at Gearbox Software. According to some models in CSGO's game files, this map was at one point to be remade for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It has been rumored that this remade version would have been renamed Balkan, and a few weeks ago Valve Time published a few screenshots of CSGO's unreleased Balkan map. A link to these screenshots is of course in the description down below. And if these are really screenshots of the remade version of deVostok for CSGO, I would love to see it released. The next item on the list is a small addition to episode 16 of this video series. I talked about how the developers of Counter-Strike, back when it was still a Half-Life modification, played with the SG552 in an unscoped configuration. I mentioned that a few selection icons are the only visual remains of this weapon. But now, one of the guys from CSWiki dug up a screenshot of the unscoped SG552 used in the game. This screenshot was taken in a development version of Counter-Strike shortly before the very first beta was released. This screenshot is really old, and it comes from a batch of screenshots that were, I guess, the very first screenshots of Counter-Strike. Side note, these early screenshots and other published at the time were taken on Half-Life single-player maps. Note this counter-terrorist holding a crowbar. And now for the last point in this video. In cut content of Counter-Strike episode 9 we addressed the Tactical Shield and how it was to be introduced in beta 4.0, then cut, then reinvented by Gearbox Software, then was implemented into Condition 0 and 1.6, and then cut again during the development of Counter-Strike Source. Up until recently we thought that the idea of a Ballistic Shield was never considered again, but we now got our hands onto some old screenshots from the time when Counter-Strike Global Offensive was merely a console port of Counter-Strike Source. Back in the day, the HUD looked a lot different from today's rather minimalistic design. And in these two concept renditions for CSGO's HUD, something peculiar can be found. Have you spotted it? Up here. One of the teammates is apparently equipped with a Ballistic Shield. So according to these renditions, the shield was at least considered during the development. Though this could have just been an idea from the artist who came up with this design. Still, I find this interesting when thinking about the fact that pistols in CSGO have the property can equip shield. I'm aware that these were just small findings presented in this update video, but they help to paint a broader picture of the cut content as a whole when seen together with the other remains presented in the mentioned episodes. Links to these can of course be found in the description down below, and I would like to invite you to take a look at them. Though I have to apologize in advance for the bad audio quality in the very first episode. So that's it for today, thank you for your attention. Till next time, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.